What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kramer, and in this video, I'm going to share why you should never listen to anybody for any advice. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. All right, so kind of a bold statement because I'm giving you advice on why you should never listen to anyone giving advice, but just hear me out. There's been a lot of different things in my life that have popped up where I hear 100 different opinions about the same thing. And it's funny because whenever I'm trying to improve myself, and what I think I'm doing so clearly, obviously, in a good way, is so conflicting for everyone around me, and everyone around me has to share their opinions, which is why I want to start out and say, never listen to anyone's opinion. Now, I want to share a couple examples of things that popped up in my life and in my real estate journey where I just hear a bunch of conflicted opinions on, and it's just actually funny to me at this point. I want to start first with this Whoop. So this is a Whoop. It's very similar to a Fitbit. It has a lot of same functionalities as an Apple Watch. And this is not a video that I'm going to go deep into the Whoop and all that good stuff. But long story short, I got this thing because I want to improve my fitness. And so far, for the week I've had it, I have been the most active. I've had the biggest increase in my fitness since getting this. And it's just funny because, again, I got this for myself to improve my own fitness. But I hear everyone I talk to about it, like, oh, is it accurate? Are the stats legit? This other device can do the same thing. And it's just like all these conflicting opinions that I'm not even asking for, but it's just like, I like this. I'm just trying to improve my fitness. That's it. So it's just funny that, like, again, I'll give more examples in a little bit here, but me trying to improve my fitness, everyone has an opinion, right? If I want to run a marathon, people would say, well, instead of a marathon, you should also focus on swimming. Like, I'm not asking for an opinion. I'm just doing me here. So that's just one funny thing that I've realized. Second thing, going back, is I dropped out of college 2 years ago now. And when I did, oh my God, the amount of opinions and thoughts that other people were sharing with me about it were ridiculous. And it was funny because they thought that they were looking out for me, but then also looking out for themselves. And at the end of the day, this is my life. And of course, I appreciate people care for me, showing me that they care for me. But at the same time, I just realized that I've got to make my own decisions for me. I'm now 23 years old. When I dropped out, I was 21 or 22. I'm about to turn 24. And that's given me a lot of kind of perspective on how I want to raise my kids when I have kids. I don't have any yet. But I'm almost in the mindset, like, you do you. Like, I can instill certain values and certain teachings and lessons. And obviously, like, I think a father has a lot of impact, just like a mother does. But anyways, it's just funny because the more that I kind of push everyone's opinions out, I also don't like giving other people advice either. And this is kind of going into a rant here. But when someone's like, hey, what do you think about XYZ? I don't know. I don't have enough context on it. And I think the skill of just being a listener is one of the biggest things. This is going to another example and point here. I was listening to a podcast today, and it was actually a mindset coach. And he was being asked a lot of questions. And what I kind of picked up from the mindset coach, and this wasn't my first time realizing this, but it was just a good reminder while I'm making this video, is this mindset coach, it's not like he said anything that was so prolific that I've never heard of in my life. But what he did is he asked good questions and made the other person who was actually interviewing him realize what he needs to do and his own limiting beliefs and things that were blocking him. So it's not that you shouldn't listen to anyone for advice, but what I think is most beneficial is finding somebody that will ask you good questions to make you think, because you have all the answers you need in your head. At least I believe. I believe that all the answers that I need, I have them. But the thing that's missing is I don't have someone ask me the questions to massage these thoughts and get to the right answers. If that makes sense. So I think, and again, this might be a little contradicting. I think that having coaches for different things are really good. So it's like, well, Bailey, coaches give you advice, kind of, but in my opinion, the best coaches are the ones that don't just tell you, but help you realize the best answer. And I want to give one more example here because I think this one will relate to a lot of you guys here. So it's the whole idea of whether you should buy a smaller piece of property, real estate, or go bigger. And then everyone's argument is, well, it's the same amount of work, so why don't you just go bigger? And then I'm always thinking, okay, well, you just bought, let's say, a 10-unit building. You're saying, oh, well, that's easier than a 1-unit building. And I'm like, well, why don't you just buy a 20-unit building? Why don't you, instead of a 20-unit building, why don't you just buy a 2,000-unit portfolio? Instead of that, why don't you just buy the entire state? So it's like, I think people have different advice to give at different parts of their journey, which is, again, going back to the whole part of, like, I don't really think that just blatant advice is the answer that I'm looking for. And I don't think it's the answer that a lot of people are looking for. I think, again, people help other people. And I know that the people who are most beneficial to me help me when they don't just give me advice out of the blue, but they ask me questions to get my mind to think in different ways. So I know that was kind of a rant, but these are just a lot of things that have been on my mind as far as trying to figure out what I want to achieve for myself, hearing everyone's opinions on the outside, and then also just looking in and realizing that I'm really happy with where I am. I know that there's plenty of room for me to grow and a lot more to achieve, but just taking a step back and realizing that I'm on the journey. The journey's fun, and there's not an end goal that I'm trying to hit. I don't believe in end goals because you're always going to be wanting to chase more. If you asked me 5 years ago what my end goal was, I would have probably said exactly where I am right now. So I know the needle keeps moving forward, and I'm just enjoying that. So hope you guys enjoyed the rant. Don't listen to anyone. Don't even listen to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.